What's your last and same thing interview stuff?
Sarah.
Oh. Sorry, guys.
Sophie. Oh. Okay, go.
Education is a critical part of everyone's life, but what if public education isn't working out? What if public schools aren't part of the plan just because they're so expensive? I'm here to introduce you to a new alternative to education, charter schools. For most of my education, my parents decided to send me to a charter school, but I've also attended a traditional public school, so I'm fully aware of both educational systems. As a graduate from a middle school charter school, it is my pleasure to educate you about this alternative. Charter schools are vastly expanding, but unfortunately, they are often criticized by parents and school districts. Often, they don't understand the true benefits of attending a charter school. These benefits include alternative teaching styles, which results in better test grades. Also, parental involvement is crucial, thus parental connectivity grows, and finally, charter schools have a more liberal point of view in which it helps students expand their own learning. Charter schools tend to raise the burning question: do students really outperform traditional schools? Multiple studies have been done on this question, and most of them have been unreliable. In a test done by the U.S. Department of Education, it is stated that there was a significant difference between charter schools and traditional public schools. According to these results, further research needed to be conducted because results show that charter schools were barely meeting the state standards. This type of study also showed some of the negatives that charter schools were criticized for. On the other hand, we have another study done by the Stanford University in which groups were divided based on their poverty level, their gender, and their race. Based on these total findings, it was shown that charter schools perform significantly better in English and math than those students who attend public schools. So do charter schools really provide a difference? Well, most of these studies provide evidence that contradict each other.
Rauner is one of 7 Noble charter schools in Chicago. The graduation rate is 95%. 85% of its graduates go on to college.
It's okay to be the smart one. It's okay to be the one committed to your community. They find here a culture where it's safe.
At the 2 public high schools in the same neighborhood, graduation rates are 50 and 67%, and fewer than 12% of those students meet even basic academic standards. Is the solution?
Therefore, more studies need to be done in order to completely state whether charter schools really do provide a difference in educational performance. But charter schools offer many distinct qualities that traditional schools do not participate in. That's what makes charter schools a better option for you and your child. Charter schools have many unique qualities. Parental involvement is one of the charter school's main goals. Every single student must have a parent that is willing to take any amount they require to work in the classroom or volunteer to be a driver. For example, at my brother's charter school, for every single child that is enrolled, a legal guardian must participate for 2 hours of work each week. In my brother's case, my mother does the required 2 hours. She comes in and helps with math groups at the beginning, and secondly, while the children are on recess, she becomes the yard duty, and then when they go back to class, she is present to hear the teacher's lessons and is required to be helping around the classroom. Parent involvement becomes very important at a young age. According to recent studies done on childhood development, a parent that becomes involved in their own children tend to be much happier and healthier children. There are many positive results that come from having parental involvement. The bond between a parent and the child grows tremendously. Communication between the child and the parent improves because the parent is part of the child's education. The legal guardian does not simply drop them off at school. They participate in the classroom and they're aware of the student's academic progress. Once that barrier of that simple one-word response is broken down, that child tends to be more open about whatever situation they might be going through. The bond that is formed at a very young age is very hard to lose. Many students claim that their own parents are their best friends, and that bond can only be made through communication. Charter schools offer that opportunity to build a trust bond between the child and the parent. Parental involvement might be one of the unique qualities, but these schools are also very liberal and diverse. Charter schools are diverse because all of these students are strive to become someone else in the future. Since charter schools require parental participation, there's always a positive outlook on the school, which is reflected by the students themselves. It is proven that charter schools tend to have a much lower percentage of bullying and violence, and this is according to the article of Prevention in Schools. Also, charter schools are state-funded, so they depend on private donations in which they decide how to make the money beneficial. Charter schools are known for having more extracurricular activities, which allow students to become more involved in school and to stay away from the streets. With this being said, lower-income families benefit more from these programs since they are free, and down the road, the students tend to pursue higher education. Charter schools offer teachers the opportunity to explore different learning methods. They depend on parental involvement, and finally, they offer a positive outlook on school, which motivates these kids to strive for higher education. Traditional schools need to move over because charter schools are easily becoming very popular because of their benefits that they have over public schools. It's important to recognize the benefits of charter schools, and if any of us know somebody who may be struggling in schools, charter schools may easily become the right choice for the alternative school.